Super Slot 75 movie reviews with a twist. Just got watching The House with a Clock in Its Walls, and I must say this was a deep, deep movie. Normally, the things I would talk about in this particular movie review, I would always put on my main channel because there's a lot of symbology, a lot of deep esoteric meaning in this particular movie, along with the plot. So basically, what we have is a young child. I think his name was Lewis. His parents die. He gets sent to his uncle, played by Jack Black, who happens to be a warlock. So then the house gives a kind of a clue of to what it is. The house normally belonged to a wizard. It was actually Jack Black's character partner named Isaac Izzard, who turned basically into a dark warlock. But yeah, that gets explained over time. So many symbologies. Oh my gosh, it's witchcraft galore. If you're into witchcraft, this is your movie. So this is going to be kind of a educational movie review at the same time. They make mention to iron. Iron, we know, binds the spirits, repels spirits. We know pumpkins were created to ward off evil spirits. There's a mention of John of root oil. Lots of good, great information as far as the witchcraft, explanation of warlocks. When the boy was going through his training, going to being initiated into his craft, you saw books of the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life. There's a mention of the different demons. Okay, so let me go ahead and get into it. So the boy Lewis keeps getting visited by his dead mother, which turns out to not be his dead mother, but the evil wizard Isaac's girlfriend, Celine. Celine needed Isaac to go into the vault and get a book, the necromancy book, to resurrect Isaac Izzard. Because Jack Black's character being the warlock, the book was protected by heavy hexes. Celine could not get to it. Also, Florence, played by Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett looked good in this movie. She rocking the purple. We know the purple means royalty. She looked good in this movie. She played Florence Zimmerman. I think it was named Zimmerman. The last name kind of threw me off. I was like, ooh, that's a bad last name. She is a witch, but she lost her family, kind of lost her spirit, and was having issues with her magical powers. So subplot: Lewis is trying to make friends with a kid named Tarby. Tarby's the cool kid. So Tarby ends up influencing Lewis to break his uncle's rules and get the magic book, the book of necromancy. So the book of necromancy, actually, it was Izzard that instructed the book to his gravesite to have him be resurrected. So then Isaac Izzard designed this doomsday clock. So at night, Jack Black's character is always looking for the clock, because it's always this constant ticking, which is why he has all of these clocks at the same time to drown out the sound of the main doomsday clock, because he could not find it throughout this movie towards the end. And then the house is alive. Then there's a glass stained painting that would change its images from time to time. There's one point where it actually showed them all three dead. It would be Lewis, Jack Black's character, and Florence, because the house knew that once Izzard was resurrected, he was coming back home, because it was originally Izzard's home. At one point, Jack Black's character and Izzard were magic partners, but then Izzard went off to war, saw some things in war he did not like, got stranded in the forest. He comes across what he thought was a dark lord, a dark magician. Turns out to be Azazel. Azazel, the fourth prince of hell, taught Izzard the plans for the doomsday clock. Izzard wants to rewind time back into before humanity ever existed, so humanity will not exist, so there could be no more wars and fighting. That's basically Izzard's master plan. Am I forgetting anything? There's so many things, so many notes I'm overlooking. I like this movie. Jack Black's foray into the family fun horror flick thing, starting with Goosebumps, is a good look for him. It's a great look for him. I like seeing Jack Black in these type of movies. Let me see what else. Okay, so then Izzard comes back, kicks Florence, Lewis, and Jack Black's character out the house. the house realizes, the house goes back to its original owner. It's going to protect its owner. So during them being kicked out, Florence regains the strength to her magic, so to speak, and they go back in the house, fight their way back into the house. The animated characters, creepy as hell. Okay, so then it comes out that Selene was impersonating Lewis's mother. Izzard is resurrected. They want to be together. Izzard hid the clock with the hex's witch, or witch's. I'm sorry, with the witch's hex, which means no warlock or wizard could find it. But Lewis, not being a full-blooded warlock because he hasn't defeated evil yet, he used a Captain Atom pin decoder to decode Izzard's blueprints, because Jack Black's character and Florence could not read or understand Izzard's blueprints for the Doomsday Clock. So once Lewis deciphered the clock, the blueprint, they fight their way back into the house. And then they get into the underneath the boiler. Mrs. Zimmerman gets kidnapped by a giant snake. So it's just up to Lewis and Jack Black's character to fight off Izzard and Selene. Selene is his girlfriend, the one that was impersonating her mother. Selene was a sister, a melanated sister, working magic. So that's a nice little twist. This movie is really, really on point as far as its diversity and with the magic. Okay, so then Lewis, or Jack Black's character, tries to unlock the Doomsday Clock. And now, mind you, before this all took place, Izzard constructed a Doomsday Key out of the bones of the original neighbor. And then they had to dip it in blood, unlock the Doomsday Clock, because initially Jack Black's character and Florence thought Izzard had killed Selene and used her bones to make this bone key. That was not the case. He killed the original neighbor. And this whole time, Selene had been impersonating the neighbor and basically keep an eye on everybody. Okay, so then Jack Black's character tries to disable the clock. He gets turned into a baby. So he has this big human head and this baby body, and it's hilarious. It's a hilarious scene, almost like Deadpool when Deadpool had the little baby legs, almost, but not so raunchy. Okay, so then Lewis has this the magical 8-ball. Remember back from the 50s and 60s, magical 8-ball. Shake it up and it'll tell you whatever. So he throws it into the cog, and it gets stuck in the cog, and of course Izzard and Selene are trying to fix the machine, whatever. And it reverts everybody back into the regular form. The clock is destroyed, but then it reverses its energy and basically obliviates Selene and Izzard. During one point where Lewis learned to manipulate energy, he did that for the Doomsday Clock. He manipulated its energy and sent it back at Izzard and Selene. I'm really, really overlooking a lot of points. I'm kind of being brief. But the symbology and the esotericism I will discuss on my main channel. I'm just keep this strictly movie review. I liked this movie. I really, really, really liked this movie so much that I will go back and see it again tomorrow, so I can catch all the other meanings and occultic symbols and signs and stuff in this particular movie, because I'm into that. So that's what I do. I love this movie. It was great. I think your kids will enjoy it. Of course, they're not going to catch all the deep stuff. That's mainly for adults. But the house with the clock in its walls, great movie. I liked it a whole lot. So that's my movie review. Super Sly 75 movie reviews with a twist. You guys have a good night. Peace.